Hey there, my fellow minor league nerds. Welcome to the newest Minor League Nerd Shorts episode. This episode is about the short-lived Jacksonville Beach Sea Birds. We originally covered them on our old Throwback Thursday Cap of the Day series, making this our second expanded and recut episode from that series. The Sea Birds played in the then Class D Florida State League, only existing for 3 seasons from 1952 to 1954. The Florida State League expanded from 8 to 10 teams for the 1952 season, with the Sea Birds being the only one of the 2 teams to make it past that first season. The hope by ownership was that they would be a good source of entertainment, not only for local residents, but for tourists as well. They played at Greater Beaches Stadium, which was built in 1950 and was located just over a mile from the ocean. In that first season, they were managed by former New York Giants outfielder Red Treadway. They lost their inaugural game to the Cocoa Indians 6-5 on a walk-off slow roller to short with the bases loaded. But they would rebound big time the next day for their first franchise victory when they trounced the other new team in the league, the St. Augustine Saints, 25-4 behind 24 hits. In that first season, they went 80-56, finishing in second place, 15.5 games behind the pennant-winning DeLand Red Hats, who we covered in a previous episode of Minor League Nerd Shorts, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. They were knocked out of the playoffs in a 2-game sweep by eventual league champions, the Palatka Azaleas. In that first season, they drew only 23,210 fans, an average of 341 per game. The Florida State League lost both the Gainesville G-Men and the St. Augustine Saints on June 2nd after each only played 47 games. Being the first 2 teams to fold during this incarnation of the Florida State League, which started back up in 1946 after a 4-year break due to World War II. There was concern that the Sea Birds would not be back in 1953 due to their poor attendance. But they received a boost when the owners of Jack's Meat Supermarket, Julian Jackson and T.F. Cowart, purchased the team. Upon taking over, they stated that no expense would be spared to bring Jacksonville Beach a winning team, and they backed that up by investing $50,000 into the Sea Birds. With the purchase, a new 5-year lease with Greater Beaches Stadium was signed, and manager Red Treadway was given a contract extension. When the Sea Birds began spring training in 1953, 3 black players were invited to try out. If any of the 3 were to make the team, they would have been the first black players in the Florida State League. Team ownership said, "We're after the very best players we can find, because we want to be in first place this year, not second as we were last year. We hope these men have what it takes." But the day after the tryouts were announced, the team reversed course. A meeting was held at the Chamber of Commerce in which representatives of city government, the Chamber of Commerce, the American Legion, other veterans groups, and local citizens protested against even the possibility of the admission of black players in their summer resort town. They claimed it wasn't due to racial hatred, but out of fear that it would affect tourist business, as they felt tourists wouldn't want to see black players in Jacksonville Beach. Many knew it was only a matter of time until black players were on all Southern teams, but it was said that some parts of the South just weren't ready for it. One of the players who was scheduled to participate in the tryouts was Rutledge Pearson, a Jacksonville native who was a local activist and teacher and who had played for the Birmingham Black Barons, with some sources also stating that he played for the New York Black Yankees. Being denied the chance to play for the Sea Birds, led Pearson to dedicate the rest of his life to civil rights activism. In 1961, he was elected the president of the local Jacksonville branch of the NAACP, and later elected president of the Florida State Conference of the NAACP. As president, he supported the civil rights efforts in nearby St. Augustine that eventually led to the passage of the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964. The 1953 Sea Birds, which was an all-white team, started off hot, playing in a newly renovated Greater Beaches Stadium. But as the season went on, they cooled off, finishing in 5th place with an overall record of 68-65. Even with the major investment by their new owners, the team actually drew fewer fans that season, bringing in only 17,785 for an average of 267 per game. One thing that made the 1953 season difficult for the Sea Birds was the fact that Henry Aaron was playing only 20 miles away in Jacksonville for the South Atlantic League's Jacksonville Braves. With the team losing money again in 1953 and integration not being an option, the owners demanded concessions from the city. They were looking for the stadium to be rent-free with free utilities, $20,000 worth of advanced ticket sales, and 500 season tickets sold at $40 a pop. The city agreed to help the team by giving them the stadium for $1 a year and took over the maintenance of the field and the fences in exchange for being allowed to use the stadium for other events on non-game days. For the 1954 season, the Sea Birds teamed up with the Cleveland Indians, who brought in former New York Yankee Spurgeon Chandler as manager. With these changes, they were selected as the team to beat in the Florida State League. That proved to be correct at the beginning of the season as they went on a tear, winning the first half with a 44-26 record. The second half didn't go as well as they went 32-37, finishing with an overall record of 76-63. In the championship series, they were defeated by the second half winners, the Lakeland Pilots, in 5 games. They led the Florida State League with a team batting average of .283. Russ Nixon, future manager of the Cincinnati Reds and Atlanta Braves, who was actually fired in favor of Bobby Cox in 1990, won the 1954 Florida State League batting title and set a new league record doing so when he hit .387. His twin brother Roy, who also played for the Sea Birds, batted .324, hitting 4 home runs and driving in 91 RBIs. They drew more fans in 1954, bringing in 22,660 for an average of 346 per game. In the championship series, though, they only drew 535 fans total for the 2 games they hosted, which was 8 times less than what the Lakeland Pilots drew in 3. The team gave away tickets, held special events and performances to draw in fans, but nothing worked. After the season, Cleveland ended their affiliation. Not wanting to lose any more money, the team's owners decided to pull the plug and fold the Sea Birds, thus ending professional baseball in Jacksonville Beach. Incredibly, the team's pitchers threw 5 no-hitters during their brief existence, with 3 being thrown in 1952 and 1 each in 1953 and 1954. All were 9-inning contests. They were also no-hit once in 1953. Greater Beaches Stadium would serve as a spring training facility for numerous minor league teams from 1955 to 1961, including the Pittsburgh Pirates minor league teams for the last 3 years. The Pirates organization infused money into the local economy while undermining some of the segregation practices as black and white players practiced and played against each other on the field. The stadium was demolished, most likely after the Pirates minor league teams left in 1961. Cloverleaf fields were created and continued to be used by minor league teams for spring training. They remain today as part of the Wingate Parks baseball complex. Well, my fellow minor league nerds, that'll do it for this episode of Minor League Nerd Shorts. Be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel or the podcast platform of your choice to be notified whenever a new episode is uploaded. Until next time, stay safe, and be sure to never stop supporting minor league baseball and never stop learning about minor league baseball history.
This podcast is part of the Curved Brim Media Network. Here are some of the other members of Curved Brim Media.
Hi, this is Ed Rivera of the Dad Hat Chronicles. Join me as I interview people just like you and players, coaches, GMs on the path that led you to become a fan of the sport.
I'm Paul Caputo, and on the Baseball by Design podcast, I talk to minor league baseball teams, designers, and other super interesting people about what these minor league baseball logos mean, and I talk a little bit about ice cream helmets.
What's up, Bucketheads? I'm Anna DiTomaso, and each week on the Baseball Bucket List podcast, I speak with a different fan about their favorite baseball memories, what the game means to them, and what's left to check off on their baseball bucket list.
Hey everyone, it's Eric from the great state of Kansas.
This is Johnny from the New Orleans Baby Cakes Memorial Museum.
And we are the Earn Fun Average podcast,
where we talk to a variety of guests about their love of baseball and have fun doing it.
America, lower your standards.
Average is what we do best.
This is Patrick and Corey of BaseballMapper.com, and we have made an interactive map to help highlight all baseball teams from the majors down to collegiate summer leagues.
We want to bring you closer to baseball, so get on the site and find a team near you today.
Hey guys, this is Patrick Larson from the Minor League Baseball Hat History Series, and in every episode I go through the history of minor league teams through my personal collection of hats. You can find me on Twitter at @PatLarson1. I hope you guys enjoy.
Learn more about Curved Brim Media at curvedbrimmedia.com.